And it's from someone named Jason Christoff, who I actually heard about from people on the TCD Summit. In the chat, they said, you have to check this guy out. When I looked on YouTube, looks like he hasn't done a video in like 5 years or something, so I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but he has a bunch of great videos. And I thought this would be good. Jason Christoff, who I actually heard about from people on the TCD Summit in the chat, and I actually came across an amazing video, and I highly recommend that everyone go check out this video. We're only going to play like maybe 2 minutes of it here so you get a sense for it. It's about 10 minutes long. And it's from someone named Jason Christoff, who I actually heard about from people on the TCD Summit in the chat. They said, you have to check this guy out. When I looked on YouTube, looks like he hasn't done a video in like 5 years or something, so I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but he has a bunch of great videos. And I thought this would be good to mention on Super Bowl Sunday, how the elite use sports to rule the masses.
Sport has always been used to pump fabricated emotion into the slave class because the slaves themselves have no chance to experience victory or high emotions within their personal lives. Sport makes the slave mind believe they themselves are winning because the mind can't tell the difference between the emotion of an external winning excitation or one that is internal. So in the end, after each game, one group of slaves feels dejected and don't have the fake emotion of victory pumped through them. Dejected slaves are dangerous slaves, as the chance of rebellion against the slave master increases if the slaves aren't pumped full of fake positive emotions. This is where the draft comes in, allowing the worst teams to pick the best players from the next crop of athletes so that the sports agenda can pump fake victory-based emotion through the entire population over the long term. In order to sedate the slave class as a whole, each team must have its separate time on the podium, yet they can't monopolize the positive emotion to that one geographical area or fan subsection. This is why the entire sports system is set to rotate championships through the league. One of the most obfuscated agendas regarding sports is the use of super strong humans in the sporting arena. The elite know that large humans are perfect leaders, and that the largest and strongest humans pose the ultimate leadership threat if left inside the slave class. The old philosophy is applied to the superhumans, the proven doctrine of, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. The elite use the lower sports hierarchies to comb through the population in order to sort out the strongest of the herd. After the strongest of the herd are sorted through, those superhumans are brought into the fold of the ruling elite to make the elite agenda the athlete's agenda. The goal is to make the super strong athletes dependent on the maintenance of the slavery-based system and their new place at the top of it. The reason this has to be done should be obvious. Look at any public protest today regarding police, the enforcement arm of the ruling elite, and the moral public. Go ahead, Google public protest and see how the police are physically stronger and larger than the average protester. The physical difference is the domination factor the elite need to maintain control via fear and trauma. Now imagine every NFL football player and NBA basketball player in the line of protesters. Imagine that right now in your mind's eye. How do the police look now? And what would happen if a police officer tasered a 300-pound NFL football player in a line of over 600 NFL football players? I think this is an easy point to contemplate. The elite are the weakest physical specimens of the human herd, and that's why they go to great lengths to manipulate the world to their advantage using laws and mental trickery, because they lack the brute force themselves to dominate others. The elite are weak and fear the strongest slave, so the slaves are sorted using the sports hierarchy, and they are promoted into elite positions into the sports pyramid so that the superhuman elite slave will fall into line with the elite's agenda.